Hello everyone. Our system includes a feature known as Maintain Version. This feature tracks different versions of master data. If a client needs to maintain a record of all changes made within any window, this versioning functionality is utilized. The Maintain Version checkbox is consistently available within the database schema. For example, when searching the database schema, this checkbox appears at both the table level and the column level. Toggling the first record reveals the Maintain Version checkbox. Checking this box at the table level causes the system to automatically create a version table specific to the master table. All columns from the master table are copied into this version table, which also includes 9 default columns. Existing data from the master table will also be copied to the new version table. Next, let us consider Maintain Version at the column level. For this, I select one table, go to the tab, choose one column, such as book name, and then check the Maintain Version checkbox. After saving the changes, when I click the Synchronize button, the system will generate a version table. This table will share the same name as the master table, which in this instance is trn126_book. But it will also include a suffix of _ver. Therefore, I click the Synchronize button and confirm by clicking OK. After synchronization, the system generates a version table with the same name, suffixed by _ver. To view this version table, you should refresh the database schema. You will then see the version table for the master table, trn126_book, which is named trn126_book_ver. This version table contains all columns from the master table, in addition to several default versioning columns. Version log, valid from, processing record, version processed, all version processed, version approved. These particular columns are created by default within the version table. It is important to note that the Maintain Version functionality is not available for all reference types. These specific reference types include assignment, binary, button, file name, file path ID, image, label, and multi-search. Once the version table is created, the next step involves creating the versioning window. To achieve this, navigate to the Screen Configuration window. You should search for your specific window. In this example, since the table is trn126_book, search for its corresponding master window within Screen Configuration. After locating it, proceed to the relevant tab. Within the Action panel, you will observe a button labeled Create Version tab. This button appears exclusively in the master window and only for tables where the Maintain Version checkbox has been selected, either at the table level or at the column level. When you click this button, the process initiates. The system automatically creates one new window and one new tab for the table where the button was clicked. Now, refresh the screen configuration. You will see the newly created version window. This new window is read only, and all the fields from the Master tab are copied into the Version tab in the same sequence. To verify this, go to the Screen Composer and search for your Master window, which is trn126_book. You will see the sequence of fields in the Master window. If you compare this with the Version window, you will see that the sequence of all fields remains the same. It also includes a group of special fields from the version table. To observe how this version window functions, first go to the UI level and change your role. Then, refresh the link. Now, search for your master window, which is Book Details. You can create a new record. For instance, follow these steps. Click Organization. Set the book name to Maths. Click Save. A pop-up window will then appear. Within this pop-up, you will find a checkbox labeled Effective Immediately. If you check this box and then click OK, the data is saved immediately. You can now confirm that the record has been saved. Now, if you update this record, mark and save it again, the pop-up will appear. If you uncheck the Effective Immediately checkbox, an additional option, Valid From, will appear. This allows you to choose a future date on which the update should take effect. For example, select a future date and then click OK. You will notice that the change is not immediately reflected in the master window. To see where this change has gone, click on the Zoom Across option. From here, you will see the related version window for this master window. You should then click on the version window. Here, you can see two records. For the first record, if you click Show More, you can see all the special fields from the version table. This first record has both the processed version and process checkboxes checked because the data was saved and updated immediately. The second record has the processed version checkbox unchecked, which means the data will only update in the master window on the specific future date selected earlier. This particular date is reflected in the Valid From field. On the right-hand side, you will also see a tab panel. This panel is automatically created when a version tab is generated. It displays the history of updates for versioned fields. For example, the first record was created as Maths, and subsequently updated to Maths 2. The old value, specifically Maths, is stored here. Now, return to the master window and update the field once more, such as changing it from Maths to English. You should then save these changes. The pop-up window will appear again. This pop-up displays one record, and you will observe that its version number is visible. This pop-up lists all version records that have not yet been processed. If a record remains unprocessed, it will appear in this information window. You should click OK and then proceed to the version window. After refreshing it, you will observe the creation of one additional record. This new record has the processed version checkbox checked, and the approved version checkbox is also checked, because this time the record was saved with the effective immediately checkbox selected. As a result, the change is reflected in both the version tab and the master tab. On the right-hand side tab panel, you can also see the old value, specifically Maths, preserved in history. One more important note is that this pop-up only appears when updating the column for which the Maintain Version checkbox is selected. For example, if you update the ISBN number or the author name, no pop-up will appear. The pop-up only appears when updating the book name column because versioning was enabled only for that specific column. And that concludes the complete process of how the Maintain Version functionality works. Thank you for attending.